It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy. It is your lovable host, Tyrone Jackson. Hey, I'm glad you could be with me now. Today's show is one of my favorite topics. This is six-figure trading tips. How do you become a six-figure stock market trader? It's not hard. It takes focus, it takes discipline, and of course, a financial education. So my question to you right at the top of the show, if you could earn an additional $100,000 trading stocks from home, what would you do with that money? Would you go out and buy an extra car? Would you pay off your student loans? Would you have 2 vacations a year? See, most people are only able to vacation once a year, and they have to save up for that. What if your lifestyle enabled you to have 2 vacations a year, one in the spring, one in the fall? What if you were able to write your own financial ticket and live the life of your dreams? Well, that's what today's episode is all about. Earning an extra $100,000 a year. Doing what? Well, trading stocks from home. Now, I, along with many of my students, actually live this lifestyle. So not only is it a lot of fun trading stocks from home and being able to know that you have more money, more residual income than the income you're actually earning, turns out financial freedom is not that far away. Now, just before we dive into some of these tips that I want to share with you about living that lifestyle, I'm going to tell you right now, the more money you earn, the more that money becomes a responsibility. Let me say that again. The more money you earn, the more that money becomes a responsibility. So I'm not giving you pie in the sky ideas. I'm telling you what's actually happening right now. So I'll start off with my own life. I thought to myself when I first started trading in the stock market, I started with about $2,500 and I did something I would never do today. I found a stock that was range bound. It kept bouncing between 50 cents a share and 55 cents a share, 50 cents a share and 55 cents a share. And I learned this trading strategy for range bound stocks. So it fit the criteria. I had done my research. I bought a bunch of shares when the stock went down to 50, and then I placed an automated trade. So the second the stock jumped up to 55 cents, boom, the software sold me out. My first successful trade, we're going back 20 years now, more than 20 years actually. My first successful trade lit me on fire. All I needed to see was that I could actually make money doing this, and I got a 10% return. So I was thrilled. Now, I have one of those minds that scales really quickly. Oh my God, if I can make 10% on a $2,500 investment, there are people out there who are doing this with millions and millions of dollars. I was not one of those people that really had to be convinced that you could really make money in the stock market, because at the time I happened to live in Midtown Manhattan and I only lived 40 blocks away from Wall Street. So that one itty-bitty trade showed me that everything was possible, and some of the people who were living in these wonderful neighborhoods around me and enjoying this great lifestyle, well, guess what? They were connected to Wall Street. So all I had to do was put together more money and keep practicing the same trade over and over and over again. Now, as my journey began, I realized that there were trades like covered calls, which generated guaranteed income. So all I had to do was master a little volatility trading, range-bound stocks, and covered call writing, and I was on my way, right? Well, not so fast. There's a lot that goes on in between. But I knew if I could just scale up, meaning add more money, I could do the same trades, and it wouldn't be that long before my life and my lifestyle would permanently change. So what I discovered along the way, as my goal was to be a six-figure trader, was there must be a system, a discipline to trading, not just randomly trading. Anybody can get lucky on a few trades, but what I was seeking was some sort of system that would allow my money to be predictable on a monthly basis. Now, remember, I still, for those of you who know, I was still on TV doing commercials and voiceovers at the time, right? So I was familiar with the idea of residual income because I'd break off a little piece of my income, put it in my brokerage account. But I need to discover a way to put more money in, but use the same system. So the system today, that is the wealthy investor system, was born out of one trade, just one trade that made money. The goal in your life is not just one trade that makes money, but a series of trades that make money. Now, the only problem in the stock market is the stock can do one of three things: go up, go down, or stay the same. Go up, go down, or stay the same. When the market is rising, we refer to that as a bull market. When stocks are going nowhere and staying range-bound, we refer to that as neutral. And when the market is dropping, we refer to that as a bearish market. You see, I got started in a bull market, and I thought the stock market would never end. But there are periods in which the market either pulls back or stays the same. So today, rather than talking about neutral and bear markets where you can do very, very well if you're willing to put in the time and to study, I'm going to talk about the benefits of bull markets and become a six-figure trader. Why? Because most of the time, the U.S. stock market is bullish. It is rising. Okay? All right. So if you want to earn $100,000, your goal has to be consistent. It has to be a consistent $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month so that you can ultimately hit this $100,000 a year, right? Well, if the money that you earn every single month has to be consistent, the money that you deposit inside your account to grow your funds also has to be consistent. So a lot of people I meet say to me, Tyrone, I have some stocks, but I have most of my money in my retirement account. And that's how I got my retirement account to $75,000, $150,000, $300,000. Can I trade there? And I say, sure you can. But remember, how did they get to the $75,000, $150,000, or $300,000 account? Because every single time they got a paycheck, something was going in to their retirement account. There was a system that was built in for them. Well, if you want to become a six-figure trader, here's your first tip. You need to invest money into your online trading account with consistency, right? Now, every little bit helps. A small contribution is huge. So if you're someone who can say, I can open up a TD Ameritrade account tomorrow, Tyrone, but I can only put in $250 a month. First of all, let's talk about a millionaire mindset. When it comes to money, there's no such thing as only. $250 a month is big. It's more than the average person. Every 10 months, you're putting in $2,500 and you're putting on productive trades or you're holding stocks that are growing in value. You are a step ahead of most people. So the first step towards becoming a six-figure trader is a regular contribution into your TD Ameritrade account or E-Trade or wherever your online account may actually be. Okay, so if you are willing to consistently put money into that online account, your next step is to what? Choose good stocks. Now, I have a whole system for choosing stocks with the greatest probability of going up in the future. Some of you know it as choosing stocks that have great top-line revenue, smaller floats, that are in sectors that are in favor. That's the system that most people learn if they're really serious about becoming a six-figure trader. See, there'll always be people who say, I want to be rich. I want to have all the wonderful things in the material world that life can offer. But they're not willing to follow two simple steps. Open a trading account and learn a system that has been proven. If you want everything in your life to be financially easy, I can tell you that's not how it works. Why do you want to be met with challenges in choosing stocks? Why do you want to have stocks that actually decline and have less revenue growth than others? Because that's how you learn. That's how you learn. If everything in life were easy, you wouldn't grow. you wouldn't learn, you wouldn't stretch, you wouldn't think new thoughts and ideas. So part of becoming successful in the stock market means that you have to be willing to learn things through losses. Some of you who've been following my method for years now notice that there's some stocks you lose on. I still lose on stocks today. Why? Because nothing is perfect, but your losses will ultimately be your greatest teachers. So, what's your first job? Is to learn the skill of trading and commit to a dollar amount, no such thing as too small, going into an online trading account month after month after month. You are going to learn more from your losses than you will from your gains. All right. Here's the other thing that takes a little time to become a six-figure trader. I can help you get there in 2 to 5 years. You cannot be in a rush. You can't be in a rush. When you find stocks in a strong upward trend that have volatility and you place your first volatility trade, you are going to fall in love and you're going to think, if I can do this faster and sooner than what Tyrone projects, I'll be richer faster. Becoming rich quickly is one of the worst things that can happen to you. Why? Because you make a multitude of mistakes. I've always been a fan of managed growth in all of your trading accounts. What does that mean? You move a little bit slower than your expectations so that you make sure that you can get it right. I can't tell you how many people have rushed in to buying Dow stocks and growth stocks and volatility trading, and they lose $50,000 instantly because, when the stock market takes your money, it never apologizes. Why? Because they're trying to get to a destination too quickly, and they don't have the experience. Imagine if I gave you the keys to a Ferrari right now. That car can go from 0 to 100 in under 7 seconds, they say. If I give you those keys to that Ferrari and you go from 0 to 100 on the first try, there is a higher likelihood you are going to crash and burn. Why? You don't respect the speed of the car. You just want the end result. And that's when disasters happen. So if you can learn how to grow your money in a managed, predictable way, for certain, you will hit your target. We know that you cannot start trading if you don't have a millionaire's mindset. If you don't start thinking about how much residual income is coming into your life, then we know no matter how much you earn, you will always be trading time for dollars. So a lot of people say, I want to double or triple my salary at work. Well, that's great, but you're still on that wheel of time for dollars. Financial freedom requires that you step outside of your comfort zone and that you be willing to step outside of trading time for dollars so that you can have hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in residual income from stock market trading. What are you waiting for? When are you going to start that journey? When are you going to embrace the mindset that allows you to change your life? During COVID, almost 100% of my students who had trading accounts had what? Had residual income. They were sitting at home trading stocks because the stock market took a dive and then it started to retrace. I taught them how to play that retracement pattern, and for many of them, their life has never been the same. You can have financial freedom. You can have residual income as long as you're willing to get that financial education and learn how to master stock market trading and investing. Back in a moment.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
And we're back. Let's get to some of these tips that I have to share with you about becoming a six-figure trader. Now, here's one that you won't like, okay? Because if you start earning $100,000 a year in the stock market, chances are 33% of that is going to go to your uncle. Your uncle who? Your Uncle Sam, right? So if you're netting $66,000, it's because you actually earned $100,000. Now, this comes as such a shock to people who've been studying with me for less than 2 years when they actually get this tax bill. Now, I don't make the rules in the good old-fashioned USA, but I can tell you when you start trading at a six-figure level, you're going to have to do what? Put some money aside for taxes. The way that I like to have my students do it is at the end of every quarter, you look at what you've made, because you can see that inside your online trading account, and you take a percentage of that and you move it to a separate trading account where it's just going to sit there. Now, someone always goes to me, hey, and that, we call that your tax account, by the way. Hey, and that tax account, can I trade on that? Absolutely not. Because if the stocks that you choose in your tax account go down, you've just traded away the money that you were going to pay to the government. So the part of wealth that a lot of people don't like to hear is the responsibility part. Okay? So this responsibility part means that the United States government is, in fact, your partner in every trade that you place. So your job is to pay attention to your taxes, your tax rate, and legal, 100% legal deductions. So one of the things that we're going to do in the Wealthy Investor Program is twice a year, we're going to launch this tax initiative so that people can download this program and learn at least how to communicate with their tax preparer. And tax planning, believe it or not, is a year-long event, right? You don't do it just once. But if you don't know the questions to ask your tax preparer, then there goes your financial education, right? So I want to be your one-stop shop for not only making money, but also how to handle it responsibly. Because if you can get to $100,000 in profits, you can get to $250,000, $350,000, and even $500,000 and more in profits. But you have to learn how to play the game. So making a lot of money is simply not just about the lifestyle and all the great things that you can do. It's also about being financially responsible. And the more money you make, and I can tell you from experience, those taxes really, really kick in. Okay? So learning how to talk to a tax preparer. And by the way, let me just stop here for a second. Those of you who are recording your trades using tax software and handing it to the government, please stop doing that. Go see somebody for $250, $300, maybe even $500 who knows the law. Why? They know all of the deductions that you're entitled to that a software can skip over. So, what's that saying? Penny wise and pound foolish? Don't adapt that perspective when you're doing something that could radically change your life. Talk to a human being. And I'm going to bitch here on the Trading Stocks Made Easy show just for a second. We're a society that's really moving more and more to I'll text you and less human communication. When it comes to your money, you need to talk to human beings. You need to talk to professionals. You don't want one mistake on your tax return to cost you an additional $10,000 because you tried to save money talking to a piece of software or a representative from a piece of software rather than sitting in the office with a human being who can teach you a couple of things. Do you think the really, really rich people who really run the country and the world are texting their tax people? Or do they sit down on a quarterly basis and have a responsible face-to-face meeting that lasts all day if you're running a billion-dollar company, right? So one of the things that we could always do when it comes to success is we can model other people. So if Jeff Bezos from Amazon.com spends a week with his tax team, you can spend 3 or 4 hours a year doing the same thing. Why? Let's learn how to model success. Okay? So being responsible and having a tax account where you move your gains into at the end of every quarter is a responsible thing to do. Plus, it brings you lots of peace of mind. And then my final tip when it comes to becoming a six-figure stock trader is for all of my working class and middle class people who grew up with very little. Could you do me a favor and enjoy some of the money that's coming in? I have clients constantly who are making all this money and say, well, someday I will save it. I won't touch any of it right now because I want my money in the market to continue to grow. Do you realize that one of the reasons to make $100,000 in the stock market is so that you can eat at fancy restaurants, so you can get some nicer clothes, so that you can do things for people who are less fortunate? Part of being wealthy is enjoying the lifestyle. Now, I say this a lot, and a lot of people don't get it until they try this as an exercise. When you start making money in the stock market as a trader, I want you to make a list of 5 things that bring you pleasure. For some people, it's fishing. For some people, it's traveling. For some people, it's restaurants. For some people, it's buying something nice for your home. We tend to stay in a deprivation mindset when we're trading in our accounts because it's just data. I can assure you, when you start making money using the Wealthy Investor principles, it's not just data. It's real money hitting your account. When you're taking profits on that volatile stocks, that is real money. And if you don't believe me, at the end of the year, the IRS will have their hand out and in front of you, not for data, but for the money that you owe them. Make sure with everything that you're learning from me that's creating profit, make sure that you're enjoying it. You are not meant to suffer financially in your life. You are meant to prosper and enjoy this experience. In fact, as human beings, we are built for pleasure. When you start making money in the stock market, enjoy all of the joy that it brings in your life. There you go. Those are my tips for a 6-figure income from the stock market, and pleasure and enjoying yourself should be part of your life experience. This is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, saying I'll see you right here next time on the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.